Hello and welcome to Bookish Brits. I'm Rex, and this month I wanted to talk about cats. You might be able to hear Pippin moaning away there. You can see Koro, who's paying attention to here. So I'm a cat person, and I wanted to talk about cats, hi Koro, and Japan. Why? Well, a whole series of things happened this year. Firstly, a movie called Suzume came out, and for those of you who don't know, this is an anime film from director Motoko Shinkai, who did Weathering with You, and I think Your Name as well, and really like the films. But Suzume has a whole plot point where the main character is running around Japan following a cat. Now, I'm not going to tell you all the details about the anime because this is a book channel, not an anime channel, even though it is a great film. Go see it. But I watched that movie with my friend Andrew, and then a few weeks later, my friend Danny gets me a gift of a book called The Travelling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arikawa. And this is about a guy who ends up travelling around Japan with his cat. So this is the thing. I'm 2 in. Same theme coming up over and over again. And then I tell my friend Nicole about that book, and she says, oh no, you must read The Cat Who Saved Books by Suzuki Natsukawa. I really apologise for all my pronunciations. And I was like, this is a thing. Again, I'm in Japan. I've got a book about a cat. What's going on here? All the cats talk in all 3 of these, in the anime, in both books. And then I was thinking about Kafka and Shaw by Murakami that has been sat on my bookcase, and I know that there's a character in that who can talk to cats. So this is clearly a thing. Or maybe I'm drawing inferences from, these 3 books. Or so I thought. And then, as I was about to sit down a few minutes ago and record this, I googled cat books based in Japan, and this massive article came up with loads of books about cats that are all written by Japanese authors or based in Japan. So I am going with that this is a thing, and I am here for it because I have enjoyed them all. Because why else would I talk about it? I mean, I love talking about things I hate, but in this particular instance, I love cats, I love books about cats, and I love Japan. So here we go. Now, all of these books that I'm going to mention today, The Cat Who Saved Books and The Travelling Cat Chronicles and the movie Suzume, have things in common. And those are, they all seem to be about connection and loss. All of the characters have suffered grief. In The Travelling Cat Chronicles, the main character is an orphan, and he is trying to reconnect with people from his past, and a lot of the book is from his cat's perspective. In The Cats Who Saved Books, the main character is also orphaned, and then he loses his grandfather, who he's been living with in a bookstore, and it's not his cat, a random magical cat appears, and he ensues in a series of adventures with this cat. But it's also about the connection, making connections to the people around him. And in Suzume, again, she is an orphan and ends up following a magical cat in a journey across Japan, along with friends that she makes along the way. And all of these have those, and I haven't read Kafka and Shaw, so I'll apologise to the book later, but I know that also has a bit of this same theming through it. So what is going on that cats seem to have this, I don't know, they're acting like a conduit in all these things, where these cats are a lens through which we see these characters, and it gets them to either make connections with other people or deal with loss. And the themes that continue through all of these books is how when we experience grief and tragedy and trauma, that we can withdraw, and withdrawing is protecting us. And the cats in all of these instances help that person deal with that loss, but also help them find their way back to humanity and find their way back to trusting and being around people and living with that, because it is hard for anyone that's suffered grief. It is very hard to build relationships again and feel safe because that fear of losing people is a really deep, overriding and hard emotion to deal with. And it can make you closed off. Not everyone deals with grief in the same way, but I definitely went through that myself, and I get it. I really get it. And, you know, my cats can sometimes make me feel comforted, and in ways that people can't, or don't, or maybe they just get me, and their presence is just, I don't know, there's something calming about it. And I feel like all of the authors in these books get it. And then I found out that Motoko Shinkai, who directed Suzume and all of these other films, has also written a book based in Japan about a cat called She and Her Cat, which I now will need to read as well. So, where am I going with this? If you want a whole bunch of books, or just one book, that is cat-based and Japan-based, well, have I got a list for you. I will put the list of all of the books in the description below. I recommend all of them, you know. These cats I love as much as anyone knows me and knows what a big Garth fan I am and how obsessed I am with Mogget. They give me Mogget vibes. I love all of these cats. They're all different. They all have their own personalities. Every story has its own beauty to it. I didn't get bored. It's not like I was reading one and going, oh, it's just like the other one. Why am I reading this? They all brought something new to the table. They all, I don't know, it just put me in a comfort zone. These books were like a comfort blanket. And even though they were on quite sad topics and the characters had experienced a lot of loss, there was something really beautiful about them and poignant about them all. So I recommend the lot. There you go. So that's this month's review or series of thoughts, musings complete. I will see you next month for another Bookish Brits, and I promise it won't take as long. Take care.